Hey everybody, how you doing? Mikey is back. Those who've been watching some of my videos, you know I've been experimenting with making my own homemade dip. So, why is the lighting seems subdued for some reason? I'm not sure why. Looks different. Oh well, I'll go with it. Sorry about that. I've been experimenting making my own homemade dip. I made a batch, 100-gram batch. Um, well, that was 100 grams of dry tobacco after I added the water and stuff. I came out with the equivalent to basically 7 3/4 cans worth of homemade dip. Um, Man, they wanted to do it to get the process down, so I used cheap pipe tobacco, the roll your own type stuff. I found some natural, no additives, no chemicals added to it. It's just straight tobacco. It was a mix of Virginia and Burley, no dark fired. So the dip I made is just a natural type flavor, no smokiness at all to it. But that's kind of what I was expecting. And now I've been experimenting with flavorings. I've tried mint, which was me. I tried a wintergreen, had great flavor, but or great aroma, but the flavor was pretty flat. um, and this is my third attempt or my third batch. I got a couple more of them stewing down there. This one I used flavorings used for candy making. Just itty bitty little bottles, a few drops will do you. This one is vanilla. So I was going to use vanilla extract, but I know vanilla extract tends to be very bitter. You have to add a lot of sugar and sweetener to counteract that bitterness from straight vanilla extract. So I figured I'd use the flavoring and see if that produced something else. I have no idea. Um, Sent out of the can, I am catching notes of vanilla. It's not real strong, but it's definitely there. So that's what Mikey's homemade dip looks like. The cut is kind of all over the place, mainly because when I dried out the tobacco and got it crispy, I just used my hand to crush it up into small dip sized bits. I don't have a tobacco shredder or anything like that. In the future, I'm probably going to buy some actual leaf tobacco, some dark fired leaf, and I'll try making a batch out of that. But until now, just for experimentation, I went with the cheap stuff. Because if I ruin it, I'm only out $6, $7 compared to if I were to spend 30, 40 bucks plus shipping on some regular leaf tobacco. So let's pack this down. I can't do the thump thing. I mentioned that in another video. My fingers, I don't have that dexterity. I have some joint issues. My fingers aren't as limber as they used to be. It sucks getting older, but that's the way it is. Um, yeah. Sometimes that thumping thing, I think it's like a redneck meeting call, hey baby, hey baby, whatever. If you thump your cans, you can try that next time you're out at a concert or something, see if it works. And if it does, you're welcome. If it doesn't, I had nothing to do with it. Yeah. Anyway, let's put some of this vanilla flavored dip in my mouth and see if I have a masterpiece or a disaster. Like I said, the aroma, I'm getting faint, not real faint, it's moderate vanilla flavor mixed in with tobacco. I added some sweetener to it. I used a xylitol. It's the only artificial sweetener I had on hand that didn't have any fillers or anything. The little packets you can use, but they use a lot of fillers and stuff, and I wasn't sure how those flavors would translate. So I went with the xylitol. It's an artificial sweetener used for mainly sugar-free gums and mints and stuff like that. The salt is still there. Didn't cover that up. Salt, natural tobacco, a little bit of vanilla flavor. This stuff is incredibly moist. Next time I make some, I might cut back on the water just a touch. Salt backed off. I'm getting hints of vanilla. Not overbearing vanilla, but kisses of vanilla. I am getting some bitterness though. I did not add enough sweetener. Mm-hmm. Bitterness. It's in the background, but it's there. But I am getting vanilla notes. I'm going to have to add more sweetener to this to counteract that bitterness. This is interesting. I'm getting, yeah, that little bit of saltiness there. Getting the tobacco is shining through, and the vanilla is like taking a back seat. It's there, but it's in the background. Vanilla, a little bit of bitterness, but it's in the background with the tobaccos, and the saltiness is dying down. So yes, I get that little burst of salt because I made it as a natural. Next batch I make specifically for flavoring, I'm going to cut the salt down a touch. Not too much because you actually need the salt to help bring out flavor. But this has a little bit too much for flavoring. But yeah, if I add a little bit more sweetener to this, I think I have a winner. Tobacco, hints of vanilla, hints of that. If you've ever tried vanilla extract straight, put a drop on your finger, put it in your mouth. It does have bitter undertones if it's just pure vanilla extract. And that's kind of what I'm getting in the background. It's not overpowering because I do have some sweetener in here to counterbalance it. But it wasn't enough, I don't think, to completely back off that vanilla extract bitterness. But yeah, the vanilla is actually getting a little bit stronger. I know they used to, I think it was Skoal back in the day, made a vanilla flavored dip. Kind of wish they'd bring it back. I like vanilla. Vanilla's cool. But yeah, this isn't half bad. There's just enough vanilla flavor to let you know it's there, but it doesn't overpower the tobacco. The saltiness is fading. It's just that little bit of lingering bitterness in the background. I'll have to counterbalance that. Add a little bit more sweetener, maybe a drop of bergamot. Just one drop of bergamot to help curb that bitterness too. But yeah, I think I'm on to something here. This is by far the three that I've tried so far. This one, the flavor is definitely there. It's just not very strong. It's taking a back seat to the tobacco. A little bit more sweetener, a little bit more flavor. I keep meaning to buy some of the liquid Splenda drops. I don't really want to use the packets because they put filler in there to bulk it out. Because straight powdered Splenda or sucralose, if they put that in the packet, there'd be hardly anything in there. They put fillers in there to help bulk it up so it looks like you actually got something in the packet. And I'm trying to avoid those. The liquid stuff is just pure, sucralose. So you only add a drop or two. I keep forgetting to pick some up when I go to the grocery store. Local grocery store here in my little town doesn't have it. They used to, but I got a feeling I was the only dude buying it, so they don't carry it anymore. Next time when I'm at work, I'll have to do a detour. I gotta buy a turkey for Thanksgiving anyway. I'll do a detour, grab some liquid Splenda, maybe add a drop or two of that to this, and a little bit more vanilla flavoring. But yeah, I think this has a lot of potential. This really does. I like this. I just need to counteract that little bit of bitterness in the background. Bring out the vanilla flavor a little more, counteract that bitterness. Got to tweak with the flavoring a little bit more, and I think vanilla dip, pretty darn good. And this is like the other ones. This does have nicotine hit. Pretty decent one. Next batch I make, I'm going to use 2 grams less of the sodium carbonate. I used 7 grams, between 7 and 8 grams, because my finger kind of messed up. And once it hit the water, you can't dig it out. So, yeah, I use 7 or 8 grams of sodium carbonate. I might back that down to like 5 or 6, just to back the nicotine down a little bit for my personal preference. Because, yeah, I'm feeling nicotine on this one. I have been with all of them. When I first tried it when it was fresh, not much. It was decent, but it wasn't really good. It wasn't hard nicotine. But I've let this sit now. This has been 2 weeks now. This stuff has been mellowing out, and I think the alkalizing pH adjustment is now complete, and it's a touch on the strong side for my personal preference. But flavor-wise, tobacco is there. The vanilla is there. Vanilla's dying down a little bit. It was short. It seems to be somewhat short-lived. I'm going to have to up the vanilla flavoring and add some more sweetener to counteract that vanilla bitterness there at the back of the tongue. But yeah, a couple more tweaks with this thing, and I think I have a winner. Vanilla flavored dip. Not bad at all. As is, it's okay, but I can definitely improve on this. So yeah, that has been my flavoring experiment number 3. Vanilla. Not bad. I did order some wintergreen flavoring, not wintergreen oil. This was called actually wintergreen flavoring. So it's meant for like flavoring coffees and candies and baking goods and stuff like that. The oil I was using, I believe it's more of an aroma oil rather than a flavoring oil. So the stuff I have on the way, it should be here tomorrow, and tomorrow Tuesday, the next couple of days. But that's of a specifically wintergreen flavoring. I'm going to add a couple of drops to that wintergreen experiment and see if that brings the flavor out more. Because the aroma's there. It smells like wintergreen. It just doesn't have the wintergreen flavor. It's very subdued. And this, yeah. If I up the vanilla flavoring a little bit, add some sweetness to counteract any of the vanilla bitterness or the tobacco bitterness. The experimentation goes on. This has been flavor experiment number 3, vanilla. Some tweaks, mess with it a little bit more, and I think I have a winner. It's on its way, definitely right now. A little bit more tweaking and a little more experimentation, and I can get it dialed in, and I'm going to have a nice vanilla flavored dip. Anyway, this has been Mikey. If you enjoy the content, be sure to like and subscribe down here. Be sure and check out Suit Tie Dip and Chew Guy up here. He's got a wonderful channel, hundreds, thousands of videos. I'm a relative newbie to the dip and chew world. I've only been doing this a couple of months. He's been doing it for years. Very knowledgeable man, great guy. He's been a wealth of advice. He's been helping me out a lot. So be sure and show him some love. If it wasn't for his videos, I never would have started experimenting with dip and chew. Anyway, this has been Mikey. Experiment number 3, vanilla. It's on its way. I'll catch you later.